Hey Battle Buddies and Healthy Heroes, my name is Susie, bringing you LARP fitness content. Today we are going to do some spring training. We have some drills to practice. The first thing I want to talk about is safety and accuracy in regards to your striking control and your distance management. We're going to be talking about using a pell, and the idea is to find hit locations. There are basic hit locations that I've already done in a video, and then there are more advanced hit locations when you want to practice a little more finesse, a little different sorts of options. Why is this good on a battlefield? Honestly, it's about safety. Like, how do you not charge someone? How are you in control of where your range is when you're moving in to strike? Flow of the battle, accuracy in your striking locations. And why is this good for your body? It's going to be a lot of control and finesse in your arms and in your wrists, as well as being light on your feet and fast with your footwork. So let's get to it. Here with my good buddy Albert, who right now is just going to be basically a pell for us, but it's always great to have a partner to see like an actual human body. To review, first we'll do the basic strikes. The three locations I think about are shoulder and hip and leg. I normally practice my drills coming in with a wrap shot at the shoulder and a wrap at the hip and a wrap at the leg. When my lead leg is matching the arm with my aggression, I call that that's my regular stance. And if I do the opposite leg forward, I call that a switched stance. And I want you to think about when you're drilling, you can do regular stance or switched stance. The subtle difference in your footwork is going to change how far you need to extend, like what your lunge feels like, how close you can be, how quickly your feet can move. That's a really huge benefit of having a pell or a target, that you can get that contact feedback and see how it feels slightly different based on your stance and your range. For advanced strike locations, I'm going to talk about how you really only want to take them when the opportunity arises. If you can be a little responsive to some subtle motion that your enemy is showing you, that's when you do the advanced strikes that we're going to practice this year. I'm going to talk about two more advanced options. So instead of just wrapping at the shoulder, something I have started to practice is the inside shoulder snipe, which is really risky. So that idea is when you chop straight down and come on the inside of his blade. You see how his blade is still outside? I'm not wrapping around him, I am coming inside and tagging his shoulder. This is wicked risky because you don't do headshots in Alliance. So I'm still practicing it on a pell at home. But the idea is if you see an opening, so if he starts to drift with this arm for some reason, like maybe I did a leg shot and he's drifted, I can then chop on his shoulder. That's a new location and a chop instead of a wrap. So it's a high chop, and you could do it straight, or if he starts to extend with this arm, you could even do like a cross chop if the opportunity presents itself. Then you are inside sniping his shoulder on the inside of this blade. So the target is high on either side, and it's only if the opportunity arises, because he starts drifting out with his posture a little bit, I might see it and go for it. My middle target, if I'm doing something more responsive and more advanced, it would be on his arm as a straight chop if he's trying to extend. This would be more of a counter. The idea of what I would be aiming for is, when that presents itself, for me to be able to aim in the middle of your body at something that is kind of coming out dynamically. So, and if I'm, when I drill, I practice both sides. So very similar to a block strike. Oops, I missed. The ability to aim accurately on what is presenting itself with a straight chop. So again, just like the high point that you're aiming at, it can either be the same side or across his body. If you're doing that straight chop on the arm level, it depends on how he's presenting. It could either be on the same side or it could be across his body. It could be with your regular stance or a switched stance. It could be your lead arm or your switched arm. So there's a lot of different options for how you set yourself up for drilling, but I would only do one at a time. So in addition to accuracy of strikes, the other thing I love to practice with a pell or a partner or a target is the approach. And I like to consider that with the stoplight mentality. where all the way back here is your green zone. You're not really engaged with one person. You can prowl around and scan the battlefield. And then as you engage with someone, you drop into your fighting stance. That's really the yellow zone. That's where if you backed up a little bit, you could prowl again. You could be in your green zone. But if you are in yellow zone, you're gonna need to be defensive. And then as you engage and into your red zone, that's where the strikes are happening. So to move between yellow and red is a lot about controlling your momentum and knowing how far you need to extend, which is going to be different if you're a long sword, short sword user, depending on what your stance is and what you're striking with. If you're one of those cool cats who is aggressive with your offhand, it's going to have a different reach than your long sword. So your approach through the yellow zone and where you stop and control yourself and how far you lunge depends on your stance, which is why it's excellent to have a partner or a solid object to give you some physical feedback as you practice your range control and accuracy. So for example, a shuffle I like to do for cardio work is just coming from yellow to red and then doing a switch and backing out. Ready? I'm just gonna smack you and run away. So I come up, stop myself, go back. Come up, stop myself, go back. Good. And the shuffle is about being light on your feet, trying not to get too much vertical or burn too much energy through your legs, but really just on the balls of your feet with, an athletic stance and your legs are ready, moving back and forth smoothly, and knowing how to stop, where to stop, and then get your accuracy on your target partner. And just as a rules clarification, thanks to our New Hampshire-headed rules here, the red zone is not all up in each other's grill. Like, you still need, an arms. If you're within arm's reach, that's unsafe, that's illegal, it's not allowed. So you need to stop far enough away that you can't touch each other with your hands, and that's where you do your strikes. So red zone isn't like barreling into someone as far and fast as you can go. It's still from yellow to red, you're stopping at a safe distance and getting your strike combos in. So no charging. That's what a pell helps you practice, not charging. Cool, have fun. I can talk about how I order what I do with my stances and my blades when I do the workout video of the whole drills all put together. So check back for a workout video where I will loop all of my drills and I will walk you through exactly which leg goes forward and which arm goes forward. But know that you can do it in a lot of different ways.